But if the company intends to violate our contract or makes any attempt to go after hard-fought Teamster jobs, the company is going to be in for one hell of a fight.
We have breaking news right now. UPS has announced that it'll be cutting 20,000 jobs this year because of cost-cutting measures, because of fewer deliveries from Amazon. Layoffs will impact about 4% of its workforce. Now, you want to know why there are fewer deliveries from Amazon? Because people are purchasing less right now because the economy's not as great. And also, there are fewer imports coming into America because of tariffs and higher costs. This move, according to CBS News, is part of UPS's plan to consolidate its facilities and workforce. It'll close about 73 buildings as well by the end of June 2025. But in today's regulatory filing, UPS said, quote, the cuts are in connection with our anticipation of lower volumes from our largest company. And as a result of this consolidation plan, UPS is expected to save more than $3.5 billion in revenue just this year. We'll see what happens next, but know that cost cuts are coming for UPS. Job cuts are coming. Spread the word.
While announcing it had a better first quarter than expected, UPS revealed it will be making some big changes. The logistics company said it will cut 20,000 jobs in an effort to lower costs. It also plans to shut down 73 of its buildings by the end of June. UPS originally said it would cut 12,000 jobs, but economic uncertainty as well as an expected decrease in Amazon shipments has the company scrambling to save money. In January, UPS said it planned to slash millions of Amazon deliveries, with CEO Carol Tomé saying, Amazon is our largest customer, but it's not our most profitable customer. UPS says it expects to save about $3.5 billion in 2025 with the cost-cutting measures. UPS also expects to see a decrease in traffic from Chinese e-commerce platforms Temu and Shein. That forecast comes after the U.S. said it will begin collecting tariffs on goods that were, until now, duty-free up to $800.
Hey everyone, we have some more economic news. The economy. Donald Trump's tariffs are creating such havoc in this country. UPS is now cutting 20,000 jobs due to the lack of shipments through Amazon, their biggest customer. Yes, you heard me right. 20,000 jobs. Yes, these tariffs are taking a toll on this country, and UPS will be closing 73 buildings by the end of June 2025. So everyone, the ripple down effect continues. Notes goods from China coming into the country. So there goes the truckers delivering the items. There goes the people working in the shipping and all that other stuff. And now it goes down to UPS and the delivery workers and Amazon. So my question to Mr. Trump and all the people who stand behind him, when is America going to get great again? Because you know what? I don't see business coming back to this country. Not yet. And I don't know if it's gonna.
You just know things are going to get worse, guys. UPS is cutting 20,000 jobs. A lot of people have been telling me, well, they're unionized. I don't know if they're going to be able to, cut all those jobs. But, these companies are sinking. They're going to cut jobs. Even Southwest, a company that's never had any layoffs, are cutting jobs. All these industries from the government are cutting jobs. There's going to be lots of houses on the market. There's going to be tons of people scrambling for, jobs that they're overqualified for. So let's see how the market goes. But people that I've been talking to have just been saying, don't spend your money, save, just in case something happens. People that are talking to it with investors, they're like, this is a great opportunity to finally buy, some, dirt cheap houses in a lot of different markets.
Oh, wow. What a surprise. Just 5 months ago, everybody was cheering this massive new raises for UPS workers. This deal, which was just 5 months ago, set the average driver pay at $170,000 a year, which is a higher average salary than a dentist. Now, according to UPS, no union jobs will be affected by this 12,000 job cut, but that's just for now. Obviously, because that would be bad for the headlines. They will likely quietly start to eliminate those union jobs soon. People need to understand that you can't dictate how a business runs by bureaucratic decree. And increasing the minimum wage or changing the cost of goods because of some other purpose that you find to be altruistic or the bureaucracy utilizes to accumulate and bribe you for your vote doesn't change how the business needs to operate in a free market economy. A business doesn't just absorb a loss and call it a day because some bureaucrat says they need to. They will find a place to pass that cost down to the consumer one way or the other. And if they don't, a new competition will create itself and start to take some of their market share. It's just basic business and economics. So while all these other union workers are artificially getting a raise where they probably shouldn't have, now 12,000 people will be making no money at all. And soon UPS will find a way to eliminate their positions as well.
So UPS announced yesterday they were going to lay off 20,000 workers before the end of this year. Here's everything I do as quickly as possible. So first off, they actually made an announcement earlier this year that they were planning on closing 10% of the facilities by 2028. This was due to restructuring the company, getting rid of Amazon. This was an announcement. However, yesterday's announcement's a little different. So the company's citing two reasons, according to their earnings call, that happened recently. One of them being they're getting rid of 10% of their Amazon volume, and the other one is massive disruptions in the supply chain. Again, I've said this plenty of times, guys, but if you want to know the future of transportation, look to the longshoremen, because what do we deliver? Commodities, trinkets, toys, goods, all of that stuff. Guess where it comes from? I think you know. She also said that while Amazon is the largest customer, it's not that profitable. So let's talk about those numbers. So total, Amazon accounted for 20 to 25% of the total volume of UPS. Now, however, they were only about 12% of UPS's total revenue, okay, which was about $10.7 billion. So basically they announced the layoffs. They also said that because all of the uncertainty in the market, they have stopped with their predictions, and this triggered a response from the workers, because obviously 20,000 workers getting pulled, that's 20,000 livelihoods that directly affects the union. Union President Sean O'Brien had this to say: UPS is obligated to create 30,000 Teamster jobs under our current national agreement. If the company makes any attempt to violate our contract, UPS will be in for a hell of a fight. Yes, so there was an agreement in the contract that we were supposed to get new jobs by bringing in more volume from the post office, etc. What kind of fight? When the fight will take place, I don't know. We will wait and see further responses from the union as this thing plays out. That's it for now. There's a lot more I want to say about automation, technology, and Amazon in particular, but I'll save it for the comments and the caption. So let me know what you think. Thanks.
Well, folks, let me break it down for you. 20,000 hardworking Americans, they just lost their jobs. Not because of automation, not because of competition, but because of Donald Trump's reckless, job-killing tariffs. UPS, one of the largest employers in the country, is slashing its workforce because Trump slapped 145% tax on imports from China, tanking small businesses and choking our economy. That's not America first. That's America fired. Trump's economic chaos has already cut 12,000 jobs last year, and now 20,000 more, many of them union jobs, Teamsters, families who depend on those paychecks. This isn't strength, it's sabotage. And while Trump plays economic roulette, real people are paying the price. And I'll tell you this, we need leaders who put workers first, not wannabe strongmen who blow up the economy for political stunts. Vote Democrat, vote for sanity, vote for jobs. Let's send a message. We don't work for Trump. We work for the American people.
This is what President Sean O'Brien from the Teamsters has recently said in a statement regarding the affairs of UPS. He also said if UPS wants to continue to downsize corporate management, the Teamsters will not stand in its way. Let me give you a little bit more context of what is actually going on right now. UPS employs about 490,000 employees across the entire world. And recently, they just announced that they are wanting to cut 20,000 positions. Now, a lot of this is coming from a business relationship between Amazon and UPS and a recent decision to cut the volume of Amazon delivered by UPS by 50% by the end of 2026. Now, Brian Dykes, which is UPS's financial chief officer, said, these actions will enable us to expand our U.S. domestic operating margin and increase profitability. Now, I'm reading all of this on the news just like many of you can. But I will say, at our building, it does seem like it's causing quite the skerfuffle.
Have y'all ever lost your job to AI or a robot? Well, that's what's happened to me now. I just found out, well, I'm not losing my job, but I'm getting laid off for like 9 to 14 months over here at UPS. Now, I work part-time here, and they said they're bringing in a robot to replace my job on the sort aisle. So basically what it is I'm a sorter, and unloaders send packages to me. I sort them out to the loaders. Well, now they decided if they put this big machine in here, they could knock out all the sorters, and a robot will scan the packages and send them where they're supposed to go. And it's not just the sorters losing their job. It's noonday, midnight shifts, loaders, unloaders. They're only keeping 55 people in the hub. And this is also going to affect a lot of drivers here because we're losing a lot of feeder routes. But look at this makeshift dock system area they're making in the parking lot. And when they do the shutdown, they're going to make around 55 workers work in the parking lot. So yeah, the part that sucks the worst is I'm going to have to start paying for insurance again. But has this happened to any of you all, any other UPSs out there?
Yeah, for sure. So UPS announced that they're laying off 20,000 due to Trump's tariffs. Might be due to Trump's tariffs. UPS does layoffs often. There's this website that I actually use that probably nobody even knows about because I want to know what the jobs are going to look like in 6 months so that I can plan my business. So here's a new website for you that you can play around with. warntracker.com, warntracker.com. And then you can put in each individual company and actually view their history of layoffs in different states throughout time and get all of their different layoff data. So 20,000 is not something new to UPS. Now, you can break it down by state. I actually look at Warren Tracker because they start talking about pending layoffs. So how's the economy going to look in a couple of months? So I'll check this website every now and again. So they've had a number of times, innumerable times, where they've done layoffs of massive numbers. So maybe it's due to tariffs because they're not picking up the Amazon orders. Shipments have stopped. However, this is nothing new with UPS, right? They're a huge company. They've done massive layoffs annually, I would say, more often than you would think when you actually parse out and look at the data. So that's kind of where I am. If you want any in-depth information on any layoff information on any company, it does a great job. It tracks everything from 1988 to 2025 and gives you a bunch of data. New website to play with.
Yep, it seems like the downsizing from, the collaboration between UPS and Amazon is not only gonna cost UPS, but the people on the ground, that is, the laborers or the workers. Imagine laying off 20,000 people. And I know most of the people who voted in for Trump did not expect this, and now it has hit them hard. I'm sure when they were voting, they thought it was gonna affect people in other fields, but it came as a shocker when it was them that are gonna be affected. It's no lie that sometimes layoffs are caused by changing economic climate or technology and things like that, so you must keep that in mind. But this time around, it's gonna be tariffs thing, man. It's gonna be that because it has affected Amazon. We've covered this video before, and Amazon has had problems with Trump administration as well as China, and it wants a middle ground where it seeks to benefit at least from both sides and without spooking both sides. Things like that makes UPS suffer, and when UPS suffer, they don't want to suffer themselves. They're gonna push that back to their workers. Lay off in order to make up for administrative costs, other expenses, office expenses. It happens that the same people that are voting for Trump to make America great again are suffering from these massive layoffs. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comment section down there below. Share your thoughts.